Good morning, Tucson, Arizona. Good morning, Pima County. Welcome to the Fresh Start Show. Dr. Demond T. Holt, Fresh Start International. He is not with us today. This is Tom Cortese, the co-host of the Fresh Start Show. Demond is in Baltimore, Maryland, talking about resilient kids, and he's in Washington, D.C., talking to congressmen and senators about the traumas that children are experiencing and difficulties that come from those traumas and the difficulties that they have flourishing in life because of those traumas if they don't get the help that they need early on in life. And that's where Dr. Holt is. And we just finished the 4th Fresh Start Expo in Pima County at the TCC this past Saturday. We don't have all the numbers yet, but I've got some of the numbers and I'll go over them later. It was an incredible event. We had over 200 people at the door before we opened. It was set up beautifully because we had chairs for everybody to sit in. Last year they were in lines. Man, it was just crazy. But let me start off with some things. November 2nd, we got Maricopa coming up, Fresh Start. We are not getting a whole bunch of cooperation in Maricopa because Maricopa is just not as restorative justice as Tucson is, as Pima County is, as our Pima County attorney is. But we're going to get there because we're going to persist and we're going to keep going and we're going to keep doing the things that are necessary for people to get the resources they need to be successful in the future. Now, about Saturday, from the minute one that we started, you know, the people that were in line that were so encouraged and enthusiastic because they believed and had an expectation and anticipation that something was going to happen in this day that was going to change the rest of their life. And it did. You know, for the vast majority of people that came there, we were able to help them. We were able to do something for them. Like some of the numbers, you know, granted on the spot, motions to set aside from the Superior Court, 5 for set for hearing, set aside on the spot, 2. Motions restoration of rights, 7, set for hearing, 8. Granted on the spot to designate felonies as misdemeanors, 5 of them right on the spot. No longer a felony person convicted of a felony, it's a misdemeanor off the record. Motions to seal, 1 granted on the spot, 6 set for hearing. Motions to reduce fines set for hearing, there were 4. And man, the numbers just go on. And Judge Blue sent us a thing. Motions to seal records, 47. Motions to set aside, 12. 11 individuals filed a motion to seal or set aside, had fines, fees reduced, suspended, or set up payment plans. 50 individuals had fines and fees reduced and established a payment plan. 5 individuals had their cases dismissed. 7 cases dismissed total. 9 individuals had warrants quashed and future court hearings scheduled. And we don't even have the numbers for the Justice Court yet. So that is just super amazing. It was a great day. The resource tables, the volunteers, everybody was so enthusiastic about the event. And at the end of the day, the judges stayed until everybody was served. I mean, we had to stop one of the courts at 9:45 because we already had over 200 people signed up for that court. That's the one we don't have all the numbers for yet. But hey, how cool is that we have to stop because there's so many people taking advantage of the opportunity that's being laid out for them. Now, we had a bunch of people come and we invited a bunch of people to come. A lot of people didn't take us up on that invitation. And some people did. And we have a guest today, and the election is coming up. And you know how I harp on everybody needing to vote, everybody needing to register to vote, everybody needing to have their voice heard, or they shouldn't complain about where their life is if you're not going to step up and do the things necessary to change the system around you. We have a guest today, Heather Lappin, and she's running for sheriff in Pima County. She was on the show a few weeks back, and we wanted to bring her back because Heather took us up on the offer when we invited her to come to the Fresh Start Expo. And she came out to the Fresh Start Expo, and she saw what it is that we are able to do in one day. And I want to bring her in and talk a little bit about that. We'll get to the election a little later, but I'd like to talk about the event and what she witnessed at the event and what she believes this event captures for Pima County and for the future of Pima County. Heather, if you would, can you jump in real quick and tell us about Saturday and coming out to the Fresh Start Expo?
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me again. I really appreciate it. And thank you for the invitation, because honestly, it was transformational for me. What I witnessed was community. That's what I witnessed.
Wow.
And I loved what I saw. I saw all walks of life coming together to make things better for people who might not have the power, who might not have the ability to do it on their own. And just the people that were there, all the tables, all the different, resources that were there, in addition to the court system, right? Like that was community. That is community. That's like the definition of community. And I really, I was just in awe of what I saw. I actually got to talk to some people that were participating in the event, and their stories were just, it was very transformational for me, because it motivated me to want to be better, right? To be better, to be
Amen.
a better member of our community, to be a more active member of our community, to help people. Because in law enforcement, we one of the main topics we talk about a lot is, lowering the incarceration rate. And in my opinion, you were doing that. You were boots on the ground. You were doing what everybody talks about. Everybody talks about it, and that's what you were doing.
Amen. Thank you for that. I mean, that's and that's our purpose. Yeah, we do the legal, we do that stuff. We actually had the opportunity. You got to see the legal part and the setup in the legal part, and some of the people going before the judges, and how casual and laid back that is. And
Yes.
There's not a bunch of police officers around. There's not a bunch of sheriffs around. There's just a bunch of people that want a future. There's a bunch of people that want to give people a future, and there's a bunch of people that are just happy to have a future. Here,
Right,
free
right.
in Pima County, and the embrace that is there, the big hug that is there at the TCC is
Yes.
overwhelming, because those tables you're talking about are loaded with people. There's 2, 3, 4 people that are manning those tables, and they're taking a Saturday to come in to change other people's lives. And wow, I mean, you saw a little bit of it, the people walking out of the legal area that just had something happen in their life, that their life will never be the same again.
Well, the burden that it places on somebody, because, I understand this, that, one parking ticket, one speeding ticket can literally turn into a life burden, just because of the compounding factor that exists. I can't, and then you add an actual criminal violation that has, occurred, and they're trying to, do the right thing and pay their fines, and it's just overwhelming.
Yeah.
And the desperation sometimes forces people into activities that we don't want them participating in. And so the ability that you had in order to relieve these people of that burden is transformational. And I was so impressed with it. I'm really excited for Maricopa. I know you guys don't have the support you have in Tucson, but I think it will catch on. I think once the people in the justice system see, oh, this is going to help my job.
Right,
This is going to make my job easier if I participate in this.
Yeah, it's less paperwork in the long run.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think, if you don't mind, not that I'm the radio host here, but when I first walked up and saw you were a little emotional, and I think that's worth the story to tell people, because I thought that was amazing, that the story that you had just been the conversation you just had.
Which one were we talking about?
That was, I think, restoration of rights.
Oh, the lady.
Yeah.
Oh my God! The lady got her rights restored at this event Saturday. It had been 40 years, and she was going to vote for the first time, and it was virtually identical to my story. I'm getting emotional again, because
as you should.
And she was emotional, and she was trying to hold it together. And I told her, hey, don't worry about none of that, because it's not even necessary to hold it together, because it pours out of you when you see it. It'll never be the same. My whole future is different now because my rights are back. They made me whole. I don't have to remain silent anymore. Now I can just
You have a
speak.
voice.
And yes, amen. Thank you for that.
Yes.
I mean,
I loved that.
yeah.
Yeah.
The other beauty of it is with the people coming in and they go to they go to Sports Clips and they get a haircut. And I mean, Sports Clips did probably like 70 plus haircuts that day. And then they went to DKA and they got clothes. And DKA ran out of clothes. I mean, they came in with like 7-8 racks of clothes and they ran out of clothes.
Wow.
And yeah, it was so cool. Did you see the one guy with the 3-piece suit? He was wearing a 3-piece suit and he was walking around. He was so happy that he got a haircut. He got a 3-piece suit. He was talking to everybody at the resource tables. Yep. And then he saw us and he said, "You are the guys from the radio show, man. I just got out of prison. And every week we listen to you on Saturday mornings at the prison because we know somebody's talking about us."
Yes.
How cool is that, right?
We matter, right? We matter. And I think that's what Saturday was. It was showing people that everybody matters, and you guys did such an amazing job of doing that. I can't tell you how impressed I was. It was, like I said, it was transformational for me to be there, just to be there. And then, then the county attorney is there, and she's participating, and you know what else I loved? This is what I loved. Even the guys that were there, and in a security capacity, right?
Yes. Oh yeah.
I was watching them, and they were having great conversations with the people, in line, and they were helping the people in line, and again, that's community. That is what we need. We need to be part of our community as law enforcement, and that's what they were doing, and it was great. It was really great to see.
And there's a real cool story to that too, and you probably don't even remember, but it was very, very cute because there was an elderly gentleman who was one of the guards that was there who kind of sneaked around and said, "Is your name Heather?" And he just he wanted to meet you. He wanted to thank you. He wanted to encourage you, and he wanted to state where he stood about you. And that was very, very cool. And we're seeing that more often. We're seeing it online. We're seeing a lot of people come out and talk about the issues that are affecting a lot of people. And it's not just affecting the people in Pima County, it's affecting people outside of Pima County because there's people that are related to people that are being affected by the current situation. I would be remiss not to give you a chance to talk about the election, and I don't know what exactly you want to talk about being,
I will. I'll just generic. We'll just be generic. But I think it's important to vote. That's just the biggest message that I would like to get out there. Let your voice be heard. Every vote does matter, whether it be for me or not, right? I just think that casting that ballot is your way of speaking up and out about what you think matters and what should matter. And so I urge everyone listening, just mail in that early ballot. Go to the polls on the 5th. Go cast your ballot. It's almost freeing when you do it because you get to feel like you participated in your community, and as we all should have that ability to do.
Amen. And I'll tell you, November 5th is Election Day. And I'm going to be out there. Everybody tells me, vote early, do this, do that. I'm going on Election Day, and I'm going to vote. I've been studying the book that they send out and all the proposals and all of those things. And I'm going to go to the election site. I'm going to vote. I'm going to get my little sticker that it will be the first general election in over 40 years that I was able to vote in. And I am overwhelmingly proud of the fact that it has taken time, but my wholeness is coming to fruition. And those things that we need to get replaced after, we lose them over the years, those things are coming back home. And you saw that Saturday when people received what they received, they actually saw a future in their lives and in their families' lives because they no longer had this burden over them. I just gave some of the numbers on the fines and stuff like that. Just releasing somebody from that, you know, you're releasing them from a warrant. You're releasing them from, wow, if I get picked up for a warrant, I get put in jail, my car gets towed, you know, what is going to happen to my apartment, my vehicle, my insurance, all the bills, you know, and how long am I going to have to sit in jail? Am I going to have bail? Am I, right?
Well, yeah, or, you know, just going around, you know, even going to work every day, you're always looking in the rearview mirror.
Yeah.
Is there a cop behind me? Is there?
Yeah.
That is an unneeded stressor in their life if they're trying to get their life on track, and that is harmful to their health, their mental wellness. So I loved what you did Saturday. I can't say it enough. I loved it. I was in awe.
Well, hopefully you'll come out to our Christmas giveaway in December because we do that too. Fresh Start International does a Christmas giveaway and food giveaway at the beginning of December every year. And then in January, we'll be doing the first clinic of the year. So, I mean, we're accelerating, you know, and now Dr. Holt has talked to them in Baltimore. He's talked to them in Chicago. He's talked to them in Washington, D.C. about Fresh Start coming to those places, to coming to Atlanta, coming to L.A., because this is making a community whole. Like you were saying, the community thing, because these are people that have been disenfranchised. These people, me, I was disenfranchised for all of those years and did not believe that society wanted me back, you know, and then when I get back and then all these people that get in line to help me move forward, I am encouraged. I am so encouraged. And everybody looking at it, like you say, Saturday the expo is an incredible event. It lasted like, I think 10 minutes. And it was like 7 hours, and it felt like 10 minutes because it went so there was so much. Yeah, it was. And I mean, and I was just so impressed that the judges stayed. I mean, we close at 1, and they stayed until after 2 to make sure that everybody that had signed up got taken care of. I mean, yeah, we had a lot of people we had to turn away from one of the courts, I think the Justice Court, because there were already over 200 people that had signed up, and they said, we're not going to be able to get to them, so there's no reason to sign up more people. So we're learning, we're expediting, we're getting better at processing, and hopefully we can get all of these people, the 200,000 plus people that are disenfranchised from voting because of a felony conviction, hopefully we can get them registered by next year too. You know? Absolutely.
I loved it. I love it. Love it. It was, I can't remember the gentleman's name, and I wouldn't say it anyway, but he was telling me about he was in prison for 13 years and, you know, and now his whole life's mission is he was one of the volunteers. And those stories just motivate you and they inspire you and they inspire you to be better. And, I think more people should come to the expo just to be able to experience it, even if they don't need the system. Like just to experience it is I think a once in a lifetime thing for me. Like I'm so motivated and inspired by
it. That's so cool. And like I said at the beginning, there were a number of people that have been invited to come share the expo with us. And they turned down those invitations, and it's very sad that they do, because you see lives changing, real time, and it's not just the ex-offenders, the returning citizens that's lives are changing. It's the people at those tables, it's the judges, it's the attorneys, it's all the people that are seeing the emotion that is poured into this day and poured into lives that they didn't know before this day. And but that life is important because every life in our community is important. And
absolutely, absolutely.
And I wanted to go back to you on that because I think it is important because the people that are in our jails and in our prison systems, they're important too. And they're human beings too. And they need somebody to look after them because most of them didn't have somebody to look after them through life. And, you know, in some of those cases, that person's going to be you if you are elected as the sheriff. And I honestly can say that I would trust you to look after me if I was in there. And the current administration, because I know what the situation is there, I've been in there with the mindset that is in there. I can't say the same for that because we see the evidence, we see the numbers, and what can you tell us about what's coming up? What are you doing now that you've been laid off or whatever it is? I don't know what you call it.
It's called administrative leave, and I'm on a gag order, so I can't even talk about it. So,
okay.
But I have been using PTO, which is my paid time off,
Wow.
so that I can continue to get out there and spread the message of who I am and what I'm about. I think sometimes we really get hung up on letters. Those political party letters that are next to people's name. And I really encourage people, if you have any questions, if you're concerned about how I feel about certain things, my website's heatherforsheriff.com. That's Heather, the number 4, sheriff.com. I'd love to talk to you. I'd love to tell you what my vision is. I am for the people. I'm for all people. Since the primary, particularly, I have done nothing but reach out to, the more disenfranchised communities, the people that typically, historically, have felt like they don't have a voice, because I want them to know that I'm for them. I'm pulling for them. I have a different history. I have a different background with my son. I have different experiences. I grew up very, very, very poor. My whole life I was on welfare, right? I don't come from this, silver spoon type lifestyle, and I look down on people. I am people. And so because of that, I think I have a different outlook on community and what it means and what our responsibility in law enforcement is. I think that's another important aspect that we're missing sometimes is, as law enforcement, we cannot incarcerate and we cannot arrest our way out of any of the problems that we have.
That's right.
And so how do we participate to be part of the solution as opposed to creating more of a problem, right?
Right.
And so that's what I want to explore, and that's what I want to talk about. And these are the people, the people that were at Fresh Start that I want to talk to. These are the people in our community. I want to hear their voices. I want to hear their opinions. Hey, what could we do better that is legal for us to do in the jail to make it more, efficient and safe? And
Right.
I think that's the key word is safety.
Safe.
We have to keep the jail safe.
Yeah.
Everybody that comes in should have, if they come in for a DUI, they come in for an assault, something like that. Their loved ones should not be worried if they're going to come out or not, right? And so
absolutely, and they shouldn't
Yeah.
have to think whether their son is going to be cremated before they even find out that he died.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
and then nobody held accountable for it. I mean, that's
Right.
and then another blurb from the man. And it's not our responsibility. These guys on
I know.
fentanyl, they die from overdoses all the time. It's another human life that was lost that a great many people cared about. And
Yes. Yes.
everybody should have cared about.
Everybody should care about. And as the sheriff, I would most certainly be meeting with families if a death were to occur, because they were in my care, right? They were in my care, and something happened. But I would most certainly reach out and have these conversations with families so they don't feel left in the dark. Because if you don't tell the story, people make the rest of the story up.
That's
so
right.
That's how the rumors and why not just be transparent?
Right.
That's the other thing I'm going to bring is huge transparency, because currently we do try to cover up and hide things a lot, and I don't think that we should be doing that. I think we should be transparent with what is happening, inviting people in. Come on in, Tom. I'll give you a tour, right? Like, I'll give you a tour. Where do you want to go see? We have to pass background checks, of course, and do what we need to do, but let's be more transparent, and so people can see what really happens inside the jail, so that they can feel secure that we're doing everything we can to keep the facility safe for their loved ones and our loved ones.
Amen. And that's Fresh Start for Saturday. And man, November 2nd, Fresh Start Maricopa, and we'll give you the dates for December and January for our next events. We thank Heather J. Lappin for coming on the show and sharing with us about the Fresh Start event. Hey, everybody have a great Saturday. God bless and Fresh Start.